I think it goes without saying that SmackDown is clearly the more superior show than Raw. SmackDown is getting a whole lot more right than Raw is. Granted, they have an hour less to work with, and that makes it go by a little bit faster. But I want to say that SmackDown is doing more with the time allowed than Raw. We get a lot more advancement in SmackDown than we get from Raw. Granted, you would think that with an hour more, you would have more advancement and more storylines and more characters build, etc., etc., when you have an hour to work with. But you have less, it seems. So I guess in this situation, less equals more. SmackDown is clearly dealing with with less talent than Raw is. They're also dealing with less star power than Raw is. But yet, it seems as though it's the more interesting show. Let's start out with how tonight was presented. Now, they had the backstage segment where AJ came into the locker room and he let everybody know that he's the face that runs the place, and he gets in Ziggler's face and tells him that he doesn't like losers. Ziggler responds by swinging at him. You know, now he wants to fight the guy. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. That sets up what's to come later on. We get it. Now, I'm okay with like cocky AJ Hill, but I'm not okay with obnoxiously annoying AJ Hill. I don't like that guy. Let's get to the belts. They presented their tag team and I'm going to continue to call it the Divas belt. Their tag team and their Divas belt for SmackDown. Though I do like the color scheme, it's like still WWE. You know what? I think I know why they have the same exact design for all the titles amongst the shows. I think that the answer is pretty simple. It's more for merch sales. You figure like, okay, your belt is already selling. You know what design is already selling. You don't want to take the chance to start confusing people, bring in too many different belts. Whereas you can have the same belt but different colors to choose from if you're buying a belt. So in that situation, I understand. Also, I like the upgrade from the copper pennies to the silver nickels and the tag team belts with the blue strap. The color scheme on that looks pretty good. And that Divas title, man, that blue on white, that shit is clean. It just sucks that Eva Marie can't wear that because she's all red everything. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. We gotta do something about that. Anyway, we're going to have a tag team tournament to crown the the tag team champions at Backlash, and we're also going to have a 6-pack challenge between the women to crown a women's champion or a Divas champion at Battleground. Or is it, what is it, Backlash, Battleground? They all fucking sound the same. SmackDown gets its own pay-per-view. I'm okay with this. I like that you build up a champion through tournaments. I wish that they make the tournaments have a better feel. For some reason, they just feel like just people are in matches, and at the end of the road, there's a prize. I don't know. It just doesn't, even though it is a tournament, it just doesn't feel like it. It just feels like matches. But the meaning of it is what's important. Now, Raw, on the other hand, maybe it's because they're not building their characters. I don't fucking know. I really just don't fucking know what the hell is wrong with Raw. So, let's start off with the first match of the night, Becky Lynch versus the Alexa Bliss. A pretty good match in which Becky Lynch won with the disarmor. I think that we need to do more with Alexa Bliss here to make her look more believable. I don't know if it's her size or I don't know what it is that's missing about her so far. But she just doesn't feel like a big deal. She has a demeanor, she has a character, but I don't know, like maybe just more time on that main roster is going to help her develop more in the eyes of the people, because it just looks like she was completely overshadowed by Becky Lynch as far as presence here. Becky Lynch wins this match and moves on to the next round for the Divas Championship. Up next, we have the Usos beating the Ascension, and we ain't have any heel tendencies here with the Usos. I mean, granted, it's probably because it's against the Ascension, but it was hinted at SummerSlam, and you would figure like, okay, that goes into a character development. With the Ascension, I don't know what they're gonna do to get me to buy into them. Maybe get these guys some wins. I don't know. They need to do something with the Ascension. I don't know. Maybe turn them baby. I don't know. Something just needs to be done to flesh these guys out specifically a little bit more. By the way, if I could backtrack, we did get Heath Slater during that title reveal presentation. Slater comes out and he says that he wants to win all the belts. He wants the Diva belt. He wants the tag team belts. He can't get either one of them. But if he could find somebody to tag team with him, he can get into the tag team tournament. And if he wins it, he can get a contract. So he has to go backstage and he has to find somebody. And not only do they have to win the first match, but they have to win the titles in order for Heath Slater to get a contract. And he found himself a damn good partner, which I'll just tell you who it is now. It's Rhino. Now, granted, I can understand them probably not having anybody else for him to work with. Maybe they could have waited to have him work with Kurt Hawkins. Like once Kurt Hawkins came in, maybe they moved their load a little bit early. Or maybe they got Kurt Hawkins coming in a little too late. I think that him and Kurt Hawkins would be a better fit than him and Rhino. But I am interested to see where this goes. Very interested. Heath Slater's not winning. Let's see. We have AJ Styles come out for a promo, and it wasn't a good promo. I think it's because he didn't really have much material to work with. His cues were simple. I beat John Cena at SummerSlam. I did what I do best, beat up John Cena. And then it's, I'm the face that runs the place, and the face that runs the place, and the face that runs the place. I'm the face that runs the place. Out come Dolph Ziggler. God damn it, I forgot. Now I gotta backtrack again. During that presentation gimmick, AJ came down to interrupt after Heath Slater left. And once he crossed paths of Heath Slater, he just looks at him and says, nobody's gonna be your fucking partner. And then he goes in the ring and he tells everybody he's the face that runs the place. And then gets attacked by Wolf Ziggler. So now we get the promo with AJ Styles and the face that runs the place. It's as if he were waiting for someone to come out. Out comes Wolf Ziggler to try to get to him to attack him. He doesn't get there, fortunately. But Daniel Bryan comes out and makes a match between the two, in which if AJ Styles wins, he's going to have his title match with Dean Ambrose at Backlash. If Ziggler wins, he'll be added to that match with those two at Battleground, making it a triple threat. So I'm good with that. I'm absolutely good with that. They're not completely phasing Wolf Ziggler out of that. Well, I mean, since he lost to AJ Styles, he's probably phased out at this point. Moving along, Carmella. See, now here's where we got some really good character development. We got a bit of a double turn here. And the reason I say a bit is because I don't think it was like a full double turn. Granted, Carmella turned heel here, and Nikki Bella is face. The reason I say kinda is because Nikki Bella was slated to have a babyface run after she dropped the title to Charlotte, but she got injured. When she came back at WrestleMania, she was, sort of kind of the babyface there. Then when but she was still injured. She came back at SummerSlam to a very, very babyface reaction. She played babyface in the ring as far as her demeanor and her just how she was. And even in Celebration. So I don't really, even though she was with the heel team, I didn't look at her as a heel. Carmella, on the other hand, as Nikki Bella is getting not introduced, but interviewed before the match starts, Carmella's like, nah, fuck out of here with that shit. You beat me last night. I'm about to fuck you up. And she just goes in and just super kicks her, and then goes on and destroys her Brock Lesnar style, busting her open as she's just leaking blood all over the place. Carmella was great here, and her turning heel was needed ever since she first came to NXT. When she first came to NXT, that crowd did not like her, and we thought that she would be heel. But they stayed the course and kept babyface, and she got some sort of reaction, but that was by association with Bayley. So now she's on her own. She's on her own now, and they quickly realize her being a babyface is not going to work. Turner heel, she got a good reaction from it, and I'm looking forward to heel characteristics and a heel run from the Carmella. Now, a lot of people are saying, all right, Nikki Bella turned face, so she's going to be the champion. Something's telling me that it might be Naomi. Something is telling me that it may be Naomi. Naomi and, what's that girl name? The other girl. Natalya was on commentary. Need not be. Next, we have Randy Orton come out to talk about his match with Brock Lesnar. He got interrupted by the Bray Wyatt. And Bray Wyatt let him know, like, all right, Brock Lesnar pretty much exposed you as a human. Me, myself, nah, I'm not human. Apparently, they're going to be having a bit of a match or a feud or something coming up between these two. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully Bray Wyatt destroys the guy so they can get some fucking wins under his belt. But again, they're putting people in position to grow. That's the thing that I like. Now, though it may seem like I'm down on some of these segments or I'm critical of some of these segments, they're putting guys in position to grow. And that's the thing that I like about this most. We get the tag team match between American Alpha and Breezango. This was a pretty good match. Something's off with American Alpha for me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's too much showmanship. Or maybe it's that their matches all seem to be the same. Where you have Gable in there working majority of the match, getting worked over, and then you tag in Jason Jordan for the hot tag. He goes crazy. It's pretty much sort of kind of the same thing. Breezango here looked very, very good in defeat, and I wouldn't have minded them winning here, but it's not believable that they would win. So I probably maybe they're probably saving the Usos and American Alpha for the finals, and then you have your Uso heel turn. I don't know, but hopefully they look into building up Breezango a bit more here. They look pretty good in this match. And in our main event, we got AJ Styles versus Wolf Ziggler. Again, the guy AJ Styles delivered, and Wolf Ziggler was there. Dean Ambrose on commentary. It was pretty good, and Dean Ambrose continues to sell that feeling, that presence of I'm the man. Like, these guys have to beat through each other to get to me, and I'm cool with that. Got a match with it. I didn't know about it. Hey, that's fine. I'm the champ. I'll take on whoever. Doesn't matter. And it's like the most nonchalant, but at the same time, he's funny with it, you know. I really like Dean Ambrose. The way Dean Ambrose is coming off as a champ here is extremely confident. I want to say cocky, but not really cocky. I just like his character here. Because he just seems like he's making, I said this a couple of weeks ago, or maybe I said it last week, Dean Ambrose is making himself feel like a big deal. Once we came down to the home stretch of AJ Styles and Wolf here, AJ Styles beats him with the Styles Clash, and he rolls out of the ring, gets in Dean's face, you know, takes the headphones off of his head, because it's like, dude, you got me next. Get up. And Dean gets up, and he is towering over AJ, and he's looking at AJ, looking down to AJ like, all right, I'm standing up. What are you gonna do about it? So hopefully this turns out to be a very good match. I mean, AJ will make sure that it's a good match, and I'm looking forward to it. Again, I like the position that they're putting guys and gals in for this this brand. They are doing a lot more developing with these characters. They're developing their mid-card. Like, mid-card feels like mid-card, whereas most other people feel like they could be vibing for that main event spot. You know, mid-card feels a lot smaller than the main card. Whereas on Raw, it's the opposite. It's like majority mid card and then about 2 or 3 guys on the main. 2 or 3 guys on the main card or the main event scene. So even though Raw has all the talent and all the star power, SmackDown is doing a damn good job at building guys up to make them seem larger than life. And before I go, I guess we need to mention Shane O'Mac. Stephanie McMahon fined Brock Lesnar $500. Oh my God, I don't know how Brock is going to be able to afford to pay that. Man, he's going to have to add dates to his contract or something in order to pay this off. I just can't imagine how he can possibly pay off $500 for his attack on Shane O'Mac and his bloodbath of the Randy Orton. Woman's trying to provoke Shane to speak his mind about what happened with the Brock Lesnar, and finally Shane cracks and says, all right, seems like you want a soundbite. Here, I'll give you one. This thing between me and Brock Lesnar, it's not over. And Brock vs. Shane starts to trend on Twitter. Now, I don't think that we're getting a Shane vs. Brock match. I hope that we're not getting a Shane vs. Brock match. Maybe this is their way of introducing the Bill Goldberg, or maybe Shane has something else up his sleeve. It's probably Goldberg. But definitely do not look for a match out of Shane and Brock Lesnar. The next crossover pay-per-view that we're going to get is going to be Survivor Series. I don't know. There's a possibility. Or there's a possibility that they may cross paths and Brock may get into Shane's face, may even rough him up a little bit. And, here comes Goldberg, presented by Shane. Who knows? The jury's still out on it. We'll figure it out the closer we get to Survivor Series. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I would like to ask you guys to put a like on it, but you're all fucking lazy. Goodbye.